Hey, what is happening, guys? What is going on YouTube? It is Johnny with Rules for Rebels, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy today's video. Today, we're going to be doing a case study of an AliExpress to Shopify dropshipping store that was shipping sunglasses. So this is actually a gentleman I connected with online. I really wanted to get him on the channel for an interview, ideally like a YouTube Hangouts live stream interview where you guys could actually ask him questions in person. And I was just connecting with him earlier this morning. He said he's not from the States, so he just went back to university, so he's busy with that. He also has been getting a lot of people asking him for help and questions about e-commerce, so he's kind of getting bombarded with interview requests and other things. And then also he said, he's in a different time zone than me, so he said it'd be a nightmare trying to coordinate that. However, he did send me a nice long email message kind of answering frequently asked questions and kind of offering some advice to you guys. So I will share that with you guys in a video either tomorrow or the next day. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to post this one, but stay tuned for the follow-up where you can actually hear directly from him about his experience. So a college student from the UK had some time off of his classes and decided to take a stab at setting up an AliExpress to Shopify dropshipping store. This was really kind of his first entrepreneurial venture. So let's get right into this and we can see what happened. So the project, again, college student taking a semester off, decided to take a stab at dropshipping with a Shopify/AliExpress store. He didn't expect to hit a home run and was fully aware of the challenges of this fulfillment model, as well as the niche of sunglasses, because it is, anything fashion related is a tough niche to break into. It's really all about marketing and brand image. So he was aware of the challenges, but, thought, hey, if I can make a couple $100 a month, cool, and maybe we can grow it into something larger. So let's take a look at the numbers. So the costs, $13 for a domain name. Now you can find domains cheaper sometimes. GoDaddy a lot of times has 99-cent domain specials. Namecheap, who also accepts Bitcoin, by the way, which is kind of cool. They're often a little bit cheaper than GoDaddy, so you might be able to save a couple bucks there. He had the $29 Shopify plan, which is the base plan. And Shopify is going to be a little bit easier if you're not super familiar with like WordPress and e-commerce. Shopify is going to be a lot easier to set up than that. I hear a lot of people saying like, oh, well, Shopify is kind of expensive. And I mean, $29 a month isn't cheap. But at the same time, I mean, if you're going to set up a WordPress store, you're going to have to pay probably $6 to $15 per month for hosting, probably on the higher end if you want good hosting. Plus WooCommerce and WordPress have a little bit more of a learning curve. So if you're a beginner, Shopify is going to be better. But also, I mean, you're probably going to be paying 10 to 15 bucks per month to run a WooCommerce WordPress store. So really, I mean, it's not a huge upcharge from there to run a Shopify store, especially with WordPress also. You're probably going to need some plugins as well. He spent $60 in Instagram and Facebook ads. So not a ton of money spent, but it's like $5 a day would be what, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 30. That's like 20 days worth of $5 a day. He wound up getting 10,000 impressions, 100 link clicks, 24 abandoned carts, which is a little bit high. And one thing to mention about abandoned carts, Shopify has a really cool feature where you can automatically send a reminder to people who've abandoned checkout. And basically it'll say, you can customize it, but the default option will say something to the effect of, thank you for shopping at our store. We noticed you didn't complete your order. You can pick up right where you left off at the link below. And if they click that, it literally takes them right back to their shopping cart. If their info was filled out, name, address, phone number, email, etc., that will all be in there as well. So it's a really way to kind of get a lot of people who've left your store. I think I get about 10% of my customers back that way. And I forget the numbers. I'd made a video a while back. It's something like basically, I think over the course of a month or 6 months, we made like $20,000 in extra sales just off recovering abandoned carts. So that's kind of a really cool feature that Shopify has. And then 3 product sales. So not a lot of sales is the profits. So he made $29.97 in revenue. Of that, $14.85 was profit. But he did say if basically the domain you have for a year, right? So if you take that off the table, because if he were to make the same money in future months, he wouldn't have the expense of domains and some other things. He can obviously refine his ads so that he's spending less on ads. So he said if you kind of factor in a domain and if he kind of get his ad costs down, the profit would have been $88.85. So was it successful? Well, you define what success means to you. To some people, not losing money makes it a success. To others, not making $1 million makes it a failure. The entrepreneur in this story wasn't convinced this was a success, Personally, I think it was, right? He walked away not losing money, and not only that, but he made some money. He's learned a little bit about business and e-commerce and marketing, and moving forward, hopefully it's only going to improve. He's going to refine his ads and be more targeted and get higher conversion rates. He's starting to see what products sell. So I really think things are only going to get better from here. And I think this was a successful case study. What success looks like. I just thought this was kind of a cool infographic. So this is what people think success looks like, right? A straight line up to the top. In reality, okay, things are going good. Oh, we're kind of going sideways. Oh, we're up. Oh, we're back down. Oh, we're lower than we started. Oh, we're back. So this is what success really looks like, right? You're going to have bumps in the road. There's no such thing as failure. It's figuring out what works and what doesn't, and this is what success looks like in the real world. So I would consider this case study to be a success. Takeaways and tips, this is something he said. Small, quote unquote, small stupid projects are a learning experience and a stepping stone. So I think a lot of people sometimes think like, oh, that's too small for me. That's not big enough. But starting a small Shopify store doing AliExpress dropshipping could be what kind of shows you what niches work and what niches don't. It's a stepping stone to better things. Another thing, don't buy domains through Shopify. You'll overpay. It is easier to setting up a custom, you'll see a lot of people have like a store, and it might be like, leatherbelts.myshopify.com. They didn't even, go through the expense of buying a custom domain, which, like I said, you can get for 99 cents through GoDaddy. There's really no excuse for not having a custom domain. If you're not very tech savvy, you can probably buy it through Shopify. They'll probably charge you like an extra $3 to $6. But you don't have to point your domain at the DNS or at the server or anything like that. But, Shopify gives you a walkthrough. There's YouTube videos that show you how to do this. You can save a couple bucks buying your domain off of Shopify, through Namecheap or GoDaddy. Let's see. Next, Shopify hack. I mentioned that. So what you're going to want to do, I'll put a link in the description box below. You can start with a 14-day free trial. You then add on the POS or point of service option. And if you cancel that within a week, you won't be charged for it, but by adding it on, it's going to extend your trial from 14 days to 2 months. And 2 months is a pretty good amount of time to see if something's going to work or not. The next tip, use 1 to 2 sellers max. This came from the guy who started the store. He said, develop a relationship with your supplier. And this is something I try to nail home all the time. Having a relationship to your supplier, in my opinion, when it comes to drop shipping, is going to equate to either success or failure. If you're just shipping stuff off of Walmart.com or from a random AliExpress seller, you're probably not going to get too far. If you pick a couple products, or at the very least a couple sellers, keep it limited, develop a good relationship with them, show them that you're going to bring business to their store, you'll probably wind up getting a discount of 15% or more on your orders. They're going to be prompter with getting your things shipped out. They're going to be better at communicating tracking numbers and things like that to you, since they know you're a drop shipper. And they may even give you a free upgrade to like a faster shipping service. Another thing he said was, if you're not using Oberlo, you're wasting time. Oberlo is a free program. There are some, it is a paid program if you want some of the more advanced features, but you can automatically upload products to your Shopify store. If you want, it will auto-fulfill orders or place the dropship orders for you. So he said that wound up turning out to be a big time saver for him. He decided not to, quote-unquote, waste time building a brand out of a cheap product you don't control. So typically the way I like to run my stores is I like to spend a lot of time creating content, developing a relationship with my audience and my customers, creating a lot of helpful content, things like that. And I kind of get where he's coming from. Like, if you were making your own brand of sunglasses and it was quality sunglasses and you stood behind the product, well, then you might really want to get out that message, right? But when you're drop shipping a product that you don't own, that you don't control, that's probably not the best quality, it probably doesn't make a lot of, this is a long-term game. If you're creating a brand, you're going to spend months like creating content and developing relationships. This was kind of more of a short-term hustle. And also, these aren't his sunglasses. They're not his brand, etc. So he decided, it'd be silly to kind of waste time building a brand when he doesn't really have a brand. Some other takeaways and tips. Abandoned carts are often for a small reason. So he had 24 abandoned carts. That's 24 customers who had started to make a purchase and for some reason decided to leave. It could be that he charges too much for shipping. It could be that they were turned off by the long delivery time. It could be he asked for too much information on the checkout screen. You can also, not everybody's going to respond, but what you can do, you have your customer's phone number and email. You can follow up with customers and say, hey, I'm not pressuring you to order. I was just wondering what made you not, continue placing your order. And maybe they'll tell you, oh, the shipping price is too high, or I didn't want to wait 15 days to receive my item, or whatever else it was. But that can be really helpful info. So you are going to, through Shopify, you are going to have all your customers' contact info, even the customers who leave. So maybe follow up with them, see what made them leave, and then try to fix that. He was going to try the just pay shipping gimmick, but said he realized it was kind of dead. I'll tell you what the just pay shipping gimmick is. So in my opinion, this is kind of played out, but what people would do, they would find a product for like $1 that maybe has a higher perceived value of $10 or $20. They then run a Facebook ad or Instagram ad and say, hey, get a free bracelet. All you have to do is pay for shipping. So they might charge $4.95, $5.95, $6.95 for shipping. And that's kind of reasonable, right? Like some sites charge more than that. So it's like, oh, the buyer thinks, oh, I'm getting a free bracelet or a free whatever else, a free hammock strap. In reality, it's only costing them $1. They're drop shipping it to you, so there's no shipping cost. If they charge you $5 for shipping, $1 goes for the cost of the product. Obviously, there's probably another 50 cents or $1 taken out for merchant processing fees. But even though they're giving you a quote-unquote free product, they're actually still making money off it. In my opinion, that's kind of played out. I wouldn't waste a lot of time with it, but if you guys want, you can try it out. Next takeaway, sunglasses and fashion is a tough industry. He knew about this going into it. It's really all about marketing. You're not offering anything that anyone else isn't. It's all about the brand image. So, think about people who buy a $1,000, Louis Vuitton purse, or people who, buy a pair of $200 Dolce & Gabbana sunglasses as opposed to like a cheap pair of Five Below sunglasses. Like to some extent, yeah, you're getting a better quality pair of glasses, but to a larger extent, you're basically paying for the image. So, if you think about like in a GQ magazine, you see a picture of a guy sitting by like a nice luxurious pool with martinis and beautiful woman around him and he's in shape. Like people who are buying those sunglasses are as much so, if not more, buying into that image as they are buying a pair of sunglasses. And that's one of the tough things about fashion. You're really going to have to do a really, really good job of creating a strong brand image. Let's see, next tip, tough to gauge results from it. Okay, so this was a fairly short period of time. There wasn't a ton of ad money spent, so it is tough to gauge the results, but I think the fact that he walked away making money and not losing money shows that it was a success in my mind. Split testing, A/B testing. So basically, rather than creating a brand and doing content marketing, he kind of was like, well, look, this isn't my product. Yeah, I'm kind of building a castle on sand, building on an AliExpress dropship product. So rather than like building a strong brand and playing the long-term game, his kind of thought going into this was, okay, I'm going to do some, cheap Facebook ads, do some split testing, run some A/B testing, see what ads work, see what ads don't, see what images in the ads work, which ones don't. Try to refine that, and hopefully we can spend $5 on advertising and bring in $10 in sales, and then just continue to scale that. And then lastly, failures aren't failures. They are necessary stepping stones. So he's going to continue on with this project. Hopefully sometime down the road in the future, I can maybe get him on for a Google Hangouts interview or something like that, and you guys can pick his brain and ask him some questions. This was his first stab at entrepreneurship and e-commerce, so I thought he did pretty good for that. And like I said, I'm not going to share it in this video, but if you stay tuned within the next day or two, I will post his response, kind of giving advice to you guys and sharing a few more insights about his experience directly in his words and from him. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. This is the end. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I will catch you guys in the next video.